December doesn't mean downtime in a Zone 9 garden. In fact, this month opens the door to some surprisingly productive, cool season crops. And a few warm-loving outliers you can sneak in before the next cold snap. Let's look at the 10 best things you can plant right now. December is one of the most underrated planting months in Zone 9. While much of the country is settling in for winter, gardeners here still have an incredible range of crops that thrive in the mild chill. The soil stays warm enough to keep growth moving. The sun is gentle but dependable, and cool nights help shape crisp greens and sweet roots. Even a few warm season crops can be started now to gain a head start before spring. If you're working with raised beds, whether metal or wooden, you'll notice they warm up quickly during the day and drain well after winter rain. That steady environment gives young plants a strong start, even during the cooler months. December's mix of reliable sunlight, cooler evenings, and reduced pest pressure makes it a prime time to set the stage for early harvests. In this guide, we'll look at 10 excellent plants you can grow right now, including quick, cool season vegetables, sturdy winter greens, and a couple of warm weather crops that benefit from an early start. You'll also find 2 flowering options that bring steady color to the garden all winter long. December offers far more opportunities than most gardeners expect, and this is the perfect month to take advantage of them. Number 1. Kohlrabi. Kohlrabi is one of the most reliable cool season vegetables you can plant in December in Zone 9, and it thrives during the exact conditions this month brings. The consistent chill helps the plants focus on steady growth, and the mild daytime sun provides just enough warmth to keep them moving without stress. December plantings take full advantage of this balance, producing crisp, tender bulbs that develop better flavor now than in warmer months. Start by loosening the soil deeply so the root system can spread easily. Kohlrabi doesn't need the depth that carrots require, but it still performs best in soft, well-aerated ground. Seeds sprout well in the lingering warmth of early December, and you can also use seedlings if you prefer a head start. Space each plant generously, leaving room for the rounded stem bulbs to expand without crowding. A few inches between seeds is fine initially, and then thin the extras once they've grown their first true leaves. Kohlrabi handles cold snaps without hesitation. Light frost actually improves its sweetness, and the sturdy leaves recover quickly even after chilly nights. Keep the soil evenly moist to encourage steady growth. Because winter evaporation is slow, watering needs are lighter than in warmer months, but don't let the soil dry out completely. A gentle, steady schedule works far better than occasional heavy soakings. If the weather takes a warm turn, the plants continue growing without issue, as long as they don't experience extended drought. The bulbs are ready to harvest when they reach about the size of a tennis ball. Any larger, and the texture can become tough and fibrous, so regular checking is helpful. Cut each bulb cleanly at the base and enjoy the leaves as well, since they're edible and mild this time of year. Successive sowings spaced a couple of weeks apart can keep your supply going through winter and well into early spring. Kohlrabi, planted in December, often outperforms spring plantings because it grows during the coolest months, avoiding the stress that comes once hotter weather arrives. With its quick growth, forgiving nature, and excellent winter flavor, it's an ideal addition to any Zone 9 garden this month. Number 2. Cantaloupes. Cantaloupes aren't usually thought of as a winter crop, but in Zone 9, December gives you a useful window to start them early. The soil still holds warmth from the long fall, and daytime temperatures are often mild enough to keep young plants growing at a steady pace. Instead of treating December as a harvest period, think of it as the launch pad for strong vines that will take off as soon as warmer weather returns. Because cantaloupe seeds need warmth to sprout, the best approach this month is to start them in a protected spot. A sunny porch, a warm patio corner, or an indoor seed starting tray all work well. Once seedlings establish, they can handle cool nights with light cover, and your goal through winter is simply to keep them growing slowly and steadily. This early start gives them a long runway, allowing them to root deeply before spring growth kicks into high gear. When seedlings are ready to move outside, choose a bright location with loose, fast-draining soil. Cantaloupe vines dislike waterlogged conditions, especially during winter when evaporation is slow. Raised beds offer an advantage here because they warm quickly in the sun and drain efficiently after rain. Give each plant plenty of room to spread. Even when growth is modest in winter, the vines will expand quickly once temperatures climb. Frost protection is the key to success with December-planted cantaloupes. The vines stay close to the ground, which makes covering them simple. A frost cloth or even an overturned container can shield tender growth during brief cold spells. Most winters in Zone 9 deliver long stretches of mild weather between chilly nights, and cantaloupes handle the rhythm well when protected on the coldest evenings. Through the winter months, water lightly but consistently. The plants don't use much moisture during this stage, but they still need enough to keep the roots active. Avoid overwatering, since the cooler soil stays damp for longer. Feed lightly every few weeks to support root development and allow the vines to grow at their natural winter pace without forcing quick top growth. The payoff for this early planting strategy arrives in spring. December-started cantaloupes routinely begin vining earlier, set fruit sooner, and deliver harvests ahead of the typical warm season schedule. By the time hotter weather arrives, these early vines are already established and ready to produce. This head start often translates to sweeter melons and a longer overall harvest window, making December one of the most strategic times to begin your cantaloupe crop in Zone 9. Number 3. Eggplant. Eggplant is a warm season vegetable, but in Zone 9, December offers a unique opportunity to give it a long, controlled head start. Instead of planting for immediate growth, think of this month as the beginning of a slow, steady establishment phase. By starting eggplant now, you allow it to build strong roots through the mild winter, which leads to earlier flowering, stronger stems, and heavier yields once spring warmth arrives. The best approach in December is to begin with seedlings. Garden centers often carry them year-round, and transplanting them now saves several weeks. If seedlings aren't available, seeds can still be started indoors or in a warm, sheltered area. Eggplant seeds need consistent warmth to sprout, so a sunny windowsill or a heated seed tray works well. Once seeds germinate, grow the seedlings slowly with plenty of light and moderate, even watering. When the plants are ready for their outdoor spot, choose a sunny location with light, loose soil. Raised beds warm quickly during winter days, which helps eggplant settle in. Dig a hole deep enough to accommodate the root ball, then firm the soil around the base to keep the plant stable during cool, breezy nights. Water gently after planting and continue with light, regular moisture. The goal is to encourage root development without saturating the soil. Eggplant tolerates cool nights better than many gardeners expect, but it cannot handle frost. Because December seedlings stay small for a while, protecting them is easy. A simple cover, bucket, or frost cloth on the coldest nights is all they need. Throughout the winter, the plants maintain slow but steady growth, often developing a thicker main stem and more compact structure than seedlings planted later in the season. Feeding lightly every few weeks supports this gradual buildup. Avoid heavy fertilization early on, since you're not aiming for fast top growth yet. Instead, focus on creating a healthy root system. When consistent spring warmth arrives, eggplant responds immediately, sending out vigorous new growth and producing blossoms far earlier than spring-planted counterparts. This early start often results in a longer and more productive harvest window. Eggplants that begin life in December typically set fruit sooner, recover more quickly from pruning, and produce heavier yields overall. By taking advantage of Zone 9's mild winter, you set the stage for one of the strongest eggplant seasons possible, all by giving the plants a quiet but powerful head start this month. Number 4. Mustard. Mustard greens are one of the most dependable crops you can plant in December in Zone 9. They thrive in cool weather, grow quickly, and stay tender and flavorful throughout the winter. This month provides the perfect combination of chilly nights and gentle daytime sun, creating conditions that keep the leaves mild rather than bitter. If you're looking for a fast, fuss-free winter green, mustard is hard to beat. Start mustard greens by direct sowing the seeds right where you want them to grow. The soil remains warm enough in early December for quick and reliable germination. Scatter the seeds across the surface or sow in shallow rows, then cover lightly with soil. Water gently to settle them in place. Within days, you'll see the first sprouts, and they'll gain size rapidly in the cool weather. As the young plants develop, thin them early so each one has enough room to spread. The thinnings are tender and edible, ideal for salads or quick sautés. Mustard greens grow best with consistent moisture, and winter naturally helps by slowing down evaporation. Light, regular watering keeps growth steady without risking soggy soil. One of the major advantages of mustard greens is how well they handle cold. Light frost enhances their flavor, and the plants typically recover from chilly nights without difficulty. Serious pest pressure is rare during winter, which means cleaner, healthier leaves compared to warm season plantings. Harvesting can begin early if you like baby greens, or you can let the plants mature and harvest the outer leaves as needed. Mustard is also incredibly versatile because you're not limited to harvesting only the greens. If you want to take full advantage of the plant, allow some of the winter crop to bolt when spring warmth arrives. As the plants flower and form seed pods, let the pods dry on the stems. Once dry, collect the seeds, store them in a jar, and you've got the foundation for homemade mustard. When those seeds are ground and mixed with a liquid like vinegar or water, they transform into the classic condiment. Letting a portion of your winter mustard crop go to seed gives you a bonus harvest with almost no extra effort. With fast growth, cold tolerance, and multiple uses, mustard is one of the most rewarding crops you can put in the ground this month. Whether you're after fresh greens all winter or a batch seeds to make homemade mustard in spring, December is the perfect time to start them. Number 5. Cauliflower. Cauliflower thrives in cool, steady weather, which makes December an excellent month to plant it in Zone 9. The mild daytime temperatures and crisp nights help the heads form tightly, and the slower winter pace encourages dense, high-quality growth. Planting now sets up the crop to mature during late winter and early spring, when conditions are ideal for producing firm, flavorful heads. You can start cauliflower from seed this month, but seedlings offer a strong advantage because they shorten the time to harvest. Choose healthy, compact, starts with sturdy stems and well-formed leaves. When transplanting, loosen the soil deeply and enrich it with plenty of organic material so the roots can spread without obstruction. Cauliflower needs consistent nutrition as it grows, and rich soil helps supply that steady support. Space each plant generously, giving them room to spread out as they mature. Cauliflower leaves can grow quite wide, and crowded plants produce smaller or uneven heads. Once planted, water gently and consistently. Winter rain usually provides enough moisture, but supplement lightly whenever the soil begins to dry out. The goal is slow, even growth, not sudden surges caused by heavy watering. Cold snaps are rarely a problem for cauliflower in Zone 9. Light frost actually improves overall flavor and crispness, and the plants usually bounce back from chilly nights with no issues. Longer warm spells are more of a concern, but December typically keeps temperatures cool enough that the heads never experience heat stress while forming. Keeping the plants mulched isn't necessary this time of year, since soil stays cool and evaporation is naturally low. As the heads develop, many cauliflower varieties naturally fold their inner leaves over the forming curd to protect it from sunlight. This keeps the head pale and prevents discoloration. If your variety doesn't do this on its own, you can gently bend a couple of outer leaves over the top and secure them loosely to shade the head. This simple step results in a cleaner, more uniform harvest. Expect cauliflower planted in December to mature beautifully as winter progresses. Harvest the heads when they're firm and compact, cutting them cleanly at the base. If the plant still looks vigorous after harvest, you may get a few smaller side shoots as a bonus. Cauliflower grown during the coolest months consistently produces tighter, smoother heads than those planted later in spring, making December one of the best times to get this crop into the ground. Number 6. Kale. Kale is one of the most reliable winter vegetables for Zone 9, and December is an ideal month to plant it. The cool air keeps the leaves crisp and sweet, and the gentler sun prevents the wilting and bitterness that can develop in warmer seasons. Planting kale now sets you up for a long harvest period that often stretches well into spring. You can start kale either from seeds or from seedlings. Seeds sprout quickly in the lingering warmth of early December, and seedlings give an extra head start if you want faster production. Whether you direct sow or transplant, choose a sunny location with loose, well-drained soil. Raised beds offer an advantage because they warm faster during winter days, encouraging steady root development. Space each plant generously to allow good airflow and to help the leaves expand fully. Kale handles cold weather extremely well. Light frost actually improves the flavor, concentrating sugars in the leaves and giving them a sweeter, smoother taste. Even a brief cold snap won't harm the plants. Winter pest pressure is minimal, so the leaves stay cleaner with less maintenance. Water regularly but lightly, keeping the soil evenly moist without saturating it. Because winter evaporation is slow, kale usually requires far less water than it does later in the year. Harvesting is flexible with kale. If you prefer tender baby leaves, begin picking early, taking only the outer leaves and letting the center continue growing. For larger, full-size leaves, give the plants more time before harvesting. Either way, kale rewards regular picking. The more you harvest from the bottom of the plant, the more it sends out fresh growth from the top. This cut-and-come-again habit makes it one of the most productive leafy greens you can grow this time of year. As winter gives way to early spring, kale often ramps up its growth dramatically. Plants that start in December usually become sturdy, full-sized bushes by March, producing generous harvests before the first real heat of the year arrives. With its cold hardiness, low maintenance needs, and long-lasting productivity, Kale is an excellent crop to establish in December, providing months of steady, flavorful greens from a single planting. Number 7. Okra. Okra may be a heat-loving vegetable, but December is still a strategic month to begin your next crop in Zone 9. Instead of planting it directly outdoors, December serves as the perfect indoor seed starting period. By giving okra a controlled start now, you create strong, deep-rooted seedlings that are ready to explode with growth the moment warm weather returns. This early head start often leads to earlier harvests and sturdier plants than those sown in spring. Start by selecting deep containers, since okra forms a long taproot early in life. Shallow trays or cramped cells can stunt the plant and cause issues later on. Fill each container with a light, well-draining seed starting mix and plant one seed per pot. Okra germinates best with warmth, so place the containers in a sunny window or use a heat mat to maintain warm soil. Keep the soil lightly moist, never soggy, and allow it to dry slightly between waterings. Once the seeds sprout, the seedlings grow steadily even in the cooler light of December and January. Give them as much sunlight as possible and rotate the pots regularly so the stems grow straight. Avoid overwatering, as okra prefers drier conditions compared to most seedlings. A gentle feeding, once the plants develop several true leaves, helps strengthen them without forcing rapid top growth. As winter progresses, your goal is to maintain slow, consistent development. The plants will stay compact through the colder months, but their root systems will continue expanding. This early root establishment is the secret to a strong okra crop. When spring warmth returns and the soil reaches comfortable temperatures, these winter-started seedlings will be far ahead of any direct sown seeds. They typically adjust quickly to outdoor conditions once transplanted, especially when planted into loose, well-drained soil. Choose a sunny location for transplanting, as okra thrives in full sun and heat. Give each plant plenty of space, since mature okra bushes can grow tall and wide. Water the new transplants gently at first, then gradually reduce watering as they strengthen. Once hot weather arrives, the plants will begin rapid upward growth, followed by flowering and pod production. December seed starting gives okra an unmatched early advantage. Instead of waiting for the traditional spring planting window, this approach allows you to set the stage for a longer, more productive season. With minimal winter care, your December-started okra can deliver vigorous plants and generous harvests when warm weather settles in. Number 8. Carrots. Carrots are a perfect crop to plant in December in Zone 9, and this timing often produces some of the sweetest roots of the entire year. The cool temperatures slow growth just enough to concentrate sugars, while the soil retains enough warmth to keep the plants moving steadily. December sowing sets up a dependable winter to spring harvest window, and the plants handle chilly nights with no trouble at all. Begin by preparing the soil thoroughly. Carrots need loose, deep, stone-free soil so their roots can grow straight and long. Break up any compacted areas, remove debris, and fluff the soil to a good depth. Raised beds are especially helpful because they offer the soft, consistent texture that carrots prefer. Once the bed is prepared, scatter the seeds lightly across the surface or use shallow rows. Carrot seeds are tiny, so aim for a gentle, even spread and cover them with only a thin layer of soil. Water lightly and consistently. The most challenging part of growing carrots is keeping the seedbed moist during germination. Seeds can take 2 or even 3 weeks to sprout in December, so patience is essential. Use a gentle spray to avoid washing the seeds around and try to maintain steady moisture without soaking the soil. Winter air naturally slows evaporation, making this process easier than it is in warmer months. Once seedlings emerge, thin them early so that each plant has room to grow. Crowded carrots develop twisted or stunted roots, so thinning is an important step. Remove the weakest seedlings and aim for even spacing. The thinnings are tiny but edible, often used as delicate garnish greens. As the plants grow through winter, they develop slowly but steadily. Carrots tolerate frost with ease, and light freezes actually improve their flavor. Unlike many vegetables, they don't need protection during normal cold snaps in Zone 9. Keep up with light, regular watering to prevent the soil from drying out completely. But avoid soaking the bed, since overly wet conditions can cause rot in cooler months. Expect your December-sown carrots to mature in late winter or early spring. You can harvest them selectively as they size up, or leave them in the ground a bit longer to develop more sweetness, especially after a few chilly nights. With their cold tolerance, minimal pest issues, and rich winter flavor, carrots are one of the most dependable and rewarding crops to plant this month in Zone 9. Number 9. Petunias. Petunias are one of the best flowers to plant in December in Zone 9 because they thrive in cool air and produce continuous color when most other plants are resting. While they can't handle deep freezes, the typical winter patterns in this zone, short, mild, cold snaps followed by long stretches of pleasant weather, suit them perfectly. Planted now, petunias settle in quickly and can bloom steadily through winter and far into spring. Start with nursery transplants rather than seeds this month. Seeds are slow to establish in cool weather, but transplants adapt quickly and begin blooming sooner. Choose sturdy plants with compact growth and plenty of buds. When planting, loosen the soil and mix in a little organic material to help retain consistent moisture without becoming soggy. Petunias love well-drained soil, and raised beds or containers provide the ideal environment for them during the winter season. Place the plants in full sun, even during December. Winter sunlight in Zone 9 is gentle, and petunias benefit from as much of it as they can get. Positioning them where the morning sun hits first helps them warm up quickly after cold nights. Water the plants lightly, but regularly. The goal is to keep the soil evenly moist so the roots stay active, but not to saturate it, since cooler weather extends soil moisture for much longer than in spring or summer. Once established, petunias grow steadily through the season. Regular deadheading, the simple act of removing spent blooms, encourages continuous flowering and keeps the plants looking fresh. A light feeding every few weeks strengthens their root system and encourages more blooms. If a frost warning appears, a simple cover or cloth over the plants for the night is usually enough to protect them. Petunias bounce back quickly once temperatures rise again. One of the best reasons to plant petunias in December is their longevity. These plants don't just bloom during winter. They often hit their best stride in early spring, producing a burst of color when most warm season flowers aren't yet ready. By planting now, you give them months to root deeply and develop strong stems, which supports heavier blooms later on. With their vibrant colors, cold tolerance, and long-lasting performance, petunias provide an easy and dramatic way to brighten winter gardens. December plantings deliver dependable color at a time when many landscapes look muted, making them a perfect addition to raised beds, borders, or containers throughout Zone 9. Number 10. Pansies. Pansies are one of the most dependable winter flowers for Zone 9, and December is an excellent month to plant them. These hardy blooms thrive in cool weather, shrug off light frost, and bring bright color to the garden when most plants have slowed down. Their ability to flower through the coldest stretches of the year makes them a standout choice for winter landscaping. Begin with sturdy nursery transplants. Seeds can be started earlier in the season, but December is the time to put well-rooted young plants directly into the garden. Choose compact plants with plenty of unopened buds, since those will deliver the longest-lasting show. Pansies grow best in loose, well-drained soil enriched with a bit of organic matter to help maintain steady moisture. Raised beds, porch planters, and border areas all work beautifully in winter. Plant pansies in full sun for the best performance. Winter sunlight in Zone 9 is gentle enough that they can handle bright exposure all day. Morning sun is especially helpful, warming the plants quickly after chilly nights. Space them so air can move freely between plants. This helps prevent dampness from lingering around the leaves during cool, humid mornings. Water pansies lightly and consistently. The roots prefer even moisture but not saturation, and winter conditions allow the soil to stay damp longer between waterings. A regular but gentle watering routine keeps the plants healthy without risking rot. Fertilize lightly every few weeks to support new blossoms and steady growth. One of the hallmarks of pansies is their resilience. Light frost usually doesn't harm them, and they often look even brighter after a cold morning. If a rare hard freeze is predicted, covering them for the night offers simple protection. Once temperatures rise again, the plants bounce back quickly. Removing spent flowers encourages continuous blooming, keeping each plant full and colorful throughout the season. December plantings often carry well into spring, providing months of reliable color. As the weather warms, pansies usually enter a second, strong bloom cycle, creating a vivid transition from winter into the early days of the warm season. Their wide range of patterns and colors makes them a flexible design tool for containers, pathways, and raised beds. With their cold tolerance, long bloom cycle, and cheerful appearance, pansies are one of the easiest and most rewarding flowers to plant this month in Zone 9. They bring immediate beauty now and provide a lasting show as winter unfolds into spring. December in Zone 9 is anything but a dormant gardening month. With the right choices, you can plant both cool season vegetables and warm season outliers that get a strategic head start before spring. From kohlrabi and cauliflower to early started okra and off-season melons, your garden can stay productive through winter and beyond. If you're using raised beds or containers, this is an especially good time to take advantage of their warmth and drainage. And for a splash of color that lasts for months, petunias and pansies bring life to the winter landscape. If you enjoyed this guide and want more monthly planting lists, crop-specific how-tos, and Zone 9 gardening tips, be sure to subscribe